2012 was a great year for cinema, and I saw a lot of films, but I've narrowed them down to just 10. This is my top 10 films of 2012. Well, I would like to welcome you to this little channel ditty, if you will, called For General Audiences. And on this channel, we're going to have lots of cool stuff. We're going to have movie reviews, movie news, you know, all kinds of stuff. And it's for the general audiences. So, if you're a general, even if you're not a general audience, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. So, yeah. Also, I would like to give a big thank you to the one and only Brandy Shelma for creating that little intro you saw right there. Ooh, tickled the bone. She wrote that song. Oh, very nice, very nice. You can check out her channel. That will be linked below in the little info boxy box down there. And finally, if you like all these words that are coming out of my mouth, be sure to follow me on Twitter. The link will be in the info. But without any further ado, let's get into why you clicked on this video. It's because you wanted to know what my top 10 films of 2012 were. So here we go. Here they are. And before I get into the official top 10, let me give some honorable mentions. And I'm just listing these in alphabetical order. We have The Avengers, The Dark Knight Rises, Lincoln, Prometheus, Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, Sinister, and Skyfall. And all those films were great, really great. They just weren't quite good enough to make it into the top 10. Alright, here we go. My official top 10. And number 10 is Argo. Now, Argo has all the makings of just a classic movie. It's got, it's based on a true story, great acting, great directing, great screenwriting, and most of all, it's suspenseful. And that's the big thing that really puts this movie above and beyond. Because the last act is so suspenseful, even though I knew what the outcome was. And if you're a director and you can do that, that's incredible. You can like just take me out of the real world and put me into this movie where I'm just so focused into it that I get on the edge of my seat. I was on the edge of my seat for the whole last third of this movie. I mean, it's incredible. Ben Affleck, Alan Arkin, and John Goodman all give just great performances, but I mean everybody in the cast is really good too, so I'm just singling those out because they're clearly the best ones of the bunch. It's really a shame that Ben Affleck got snubbed from a Best Directing Oscar, because he really was like super good in this movie, and he really deserved at least a nomination, I feel like. But yeah, this movie I really do feel like it's going to go down as a classic in cinema. Coming in at number 9 we have Kill List. Now, the first time that I watched Kill List, I was a little perplexed, I feel like is the right word, because it's a very odd movie. It gives you very little answers. And when you first see it, it kind of feels like you don't really know what the heck just happened. But having rewatched it several times since, I've realized that works to the film's benefit. It's so smart. It doesn't give any answers, but it gives you just enough to where you can form your own opinions about it. This story about 2 hitmen who receive a list of 3 people to kill, and what initially seems like an easy job turns out to be much more complicated than they would have initially thought. The performances in the film are all really great, but Michael Smiley just blows it away. He steals the show as the best friend Gal. He's funny, but you can really connect to his character too. And he's a cool guy. I don't know, he's just really cool. I like him. This is a very scary movie. It doesn't sound like it would be from the description. It sounds like it would be a Hitman movie, really, just an action movie. But it's so much more than that, because it like starts off as like a family drama, and then the second act is like a hitman kind of thriller weird thing, and then the third act just goes into all-out horror, and it's terrifying. Like, I won't say that this was the scariest film of 2012, but it was definitely one of the most scariest, and it was the most like raw and just disturbing at times. And it really is a really dark and disturbing movie. But it's raw, it's entertaining, whoa, it's really good. I would recommend watching Kill List if you are in the mood for a challenging movie. But if you're really just hoping for something that feels good on the pillow, this probably isn't the movie for you. But I really would love to see you check it out. Ben Wheatley does such a great job with the weird editing, and some of the dialogue is really difficult to like understand, like to hear. And I feel like he does these weird things for a reason to get you on the edge of your seat. I think it's brilliant. I really do think this is a brilliantly made film. Coming in at number 8, we have We Need to Talk About Kevin. Now, We Need to Talk About Kevin was kind of a bit of a buzz in the 2011 Academy Awards, or 2012, whatever, last year's Academy Awards. And it was mostly just for Tilda Swinton's performance, but this actually did receive a theatrical release in early January, so I think it qualifies as a 2012 film. And it really is a powerful film. Tilda Swinton is phenomenal in it. The fact that she didn't get an Oscar nomination is just, it's beyond me. The story about a mother who believes that there's something wrong with her son, and nobody believes her. It's really just great filmmaking. It's totally engaging, and it's not scary necessarily, but it's definitely like unnerving. Like, definitely sets you on edge, and there's lots and lots of tension. I know I said Tilda Swinton is great in it, but John C. Reilly is great, Ezra Miller is great. The whole cast is really great, and I love what director Lynn Ramsey, I think is her name. I love what she did. It's a very dark subject matter, but she filmed it. It's so bright and visual, and there's just such stark contrast in the film. It really works to the film's benefit. At number 7, we have Zero Dark 30. I've been looking forward to Zero Dark 30 for like the whole year. Actually, ever since I heard that Kathryn Bigelow was directing a film about the killing of Osama bin Laden, I was like, yeah, let's go, baby. I was really excited. And this was the last film of 2012 that I saw, and I'm really glad that I waited to make my list, because it definitely deserved the spot on the list. It's engaging, it's thrilling, but I mean, a lot of it is just talking. And it really is, when you have a movie that's so much talking, but it's so entertaining, you really know you have a great script and great directing. Jessica Chastain stars as Maya, the woman who is like responsible for the decade-long hunt to find Osama bin Laden, and she is just great in it. At times she's like really subdued, and she doesn't like overact at all, and then over time when she needs to, she's like bursting with energy, and it's really great. And her performance really does like kind of stay with you, and it's great because she's hardly in the last like 30 minutes of the movie. At number 6, we have The Master. The Master is a film by Paul Thomas Anderson, and if you know any of his films, you know that he definitely has a unique kind of style, and The Master is like right up there with a lot of his other films. A lot of people hated The Master, like they hated it, and I think it's just really because people don't have like patience nowadays, and they want everything to be spoon-fed to them, and The Master is really just kind of open-ended. It just, Paul Thomas Anderson, he shows what he needs to show, and the rest is up to you. He doesn't explain anything. The film's about Joaquin Phoenix. His character is basically a veteran of the war, and he joins a cult run by Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, and that's kind of the whole plot, really. There's not that much plot, but it's so like thematic. The subtext of it is so thematically deep that you think about it for just long after you've seen it. Also worth noting is the beautiful cinematography. It's just like gorgeous. Every shot in this is just like, ooh. But the real star of the show is easily Joaquin Phoenix. He gives the performance of the year, hands down. I know a lot of people start saying Daniel Day-Lewis's Lincoln is the best, but no way. Like, Joaquin Phoenix he hits it out of the park. He's amazing in this. Like, he's funny but sad, and he just completely becomes his character. Coming in at number 5 is Seven Psychopaths. Now, in 2008, Martin McDonagh, I don't really know how to say his name, he wrote and directed a movie called In Bruges, and that is one of my like favorite films of all time. It seriously, I think it's a masterpiece. And The Seven Psychopaths is his second film, and it's definitely not quite on the level of In Bruges, but it's still a great movie. Seven Psychopaths is absolutely hilarious. There's so many great lines, and performances are off the wall. There's so many like expletives in this movie. It's a black comedy dream team. Like, it's great. It really is. And Sam Rockwell, he steals the show. I can't believe he's not nominated for an Oscar for this movie. Actually, I can believe it, but he should be nominated for an Oscar because he's absolutely hilarious. He has so much energy. I don't know how he did it. He's just, every scene, he just is the star of the show. He just grabs your attention. He's great. At number 4, we have Moonrise Kingdom. Now, I haven't seen every Wes Anderson movie, but I have seen enough to, like, know his style. And Moonrise Kingdom is right up there with his style. And a lot of people think he's become a bit of a parody of himself, but, I mean, from what I've seen, I disagree. The cinematography in the movie is just gorgeous. Every picture feels like it could just be taken out of the movie and just hung up on a wall. Like, that's how good it is. Like, every shot is gorgeous. You can tell, he thought of every shot. Not a single shot is wasted. Really great performances, especially from Kara Hayward as the young Susie. She steals the show for me. She just, like, is great. Like, you can tell she's kind of got that, like, rebellious behavior, but she's also got sweetness to her. It's great. Coming in at number 3, we have The Cabin. The Cabin in the Woods. Now, The Cabin in the Woods is a difficult film to discuss because giving away any of the plot will ruin what's so great about the movie. Basically, all you need to know is 5 friends go into a wood and go into a cabin in the woods and weird stuff happens. That's all you should know. Written by Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard and directed by Drew Goddard. It's just a complete barrage of horror movie references and just everything I love about horror movies is in this movie. It's a dream come true for horror movie lovers. It's great. It really is. The script is so smart. The final 30 minutes will have any horror fan just in like a comatose like state of just joy. Like, watching it is just incredible. Like, if you love horror movies, you have to see The Cabin in the Woods. It could have used a few more scares to balance out the laughs because this is a really funny movie and it's not really that scary, but other than that, this is just perfect in almost every way. Getting close. At number 2 is Django Unchained. Quentin Tarantino is easily one of my favorite writers and directors working in Hollywood. Actually, he's probably my favorite of all time. I really love every single one of his movies, and Django Unchained is no exception. You can tell that this is just Quentin Tarantino just having a blast. He really is just giving it his all, and there's no restraint on him. He's just doing whatever the heck he wants, and it's so much fun to watch. The performances in this film are just, they're great. Samuel Jackson's hilarious. Jamie Foxx is great. Christoph Waltz is also very good as the bounty hunter, Dr. Schultz, but in my opinion, Leonardo DiCaprio steals the show. He plays completely against type, and he's funny, he's scary, and you can tell he's just having the time of his life playing this guy. The dialogue is great, the script is great, the story's great, everything really is great. Quentin Tarantino, his directing is just top notch. And I don't think this is quite as good as some of his previous films, but his previous films are so incredible that saying that it's not as good as that is not really a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all, actually. Super violent, super funny, but also a really good love story. It's definitely one of the best films of the year. And finally, my number 1 film of 2012 is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Now, I would have never in a million years expected Perks of Being a Wallflower to be my number 1 film of the year. I was looking forward to it, but it wasn't even like one of my top 3 most anticipated films of the year. Like, I would have never thought that it would have been as good as it is, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the greatest high school movies of all time. It's directed by Steven Chbosky, and it's incredible because he actually wrote the book that the movie's based on. So he wrote the book and directed it, and wrote the script. He's like, this is his baby. You can tell he loves the material, he loves the characters that he's created, and he treats the project with so much care and compassion. I haven't seen a film with so much passion in it since 2004's Garden State. All 3 of the lead performances are great. Ezra Miller, Logan Lerman, and Emma Watson, they're all phenomenal. The script is really way smarter than almost all high school movies. It deals with some really dark subject matter, but it's also manages to be like really hilarious. And some of the lines in here are great. Like I love the one that comes to mind is when Charlie goes to his father and he says, "Dad, can I have $30?" And his dad goes, "$20. What do you need $10 for?" Like that's great stuff. I fell in love with these characters. I fell in love with the world that they lived in. Like I wanted to be friends with these people. Like, and I didn't want the movie to end. I just wanted it to keep going. I wanted this to be my life. I loved it. And the soundtrack is really what brings the film just above and beyond everything else, because the tunnel song is just the perfect ending and the perfect scene in the movie. When Charlie delivers his last monologue and they go through the tunnel, I get chills. Every time I watch it, I get chills. I've barely seen this on any best of the year lists, and this is my #1. So I really feel like this is a really underappreciated movie, but this is the film that I fell in love with. I've watched it more times than pretty much any movie of 2012. I love almost everything about it. It's not perfect. There's some things that I would change, but overall, I fell in love with this movie. I want to show this to everybody, and I really do believe that it is one of the best, if not the best, film of 2012, and it's definitely my favorite film of 2012. So that is why I have made it #1. So that's my top 10 of 2012. Let me know what you think. I'm sure you disagree with some, but maybe you agree with others. Do you think Perks of Being a Wallflower is underrated? Do you think Ben Affleck got snubbed for not getting the Best Director nom at Harco? And did you like The Master, or did you hate it like most people did? Even though most critics did like it. Let me know if you liked my list, if you didn't, if you disagreed with it, if you agreed with it. Give me your own top 10. Do whatever you want. Just say hello. Let me know whatever you want. And that was my top 10 films of 2012.